Hello and welcome back to the Andrew Knights Motorsport channel. In this episode I'm going to cure the dip to main beam problem. Problem is, dip beam doesn't work, but main beam does. Now when I built this car, or rebuilt it, I rebuilt it in 8 days before the race. So everything was a bit rushed. I had to make the wiring loom from scratch. And when I'd made certain subsections, the front half, the back half, I tested that it all worked. When I plugged it into the relay boxes, that's when I started having problems. And to be honest, I had main beam, I knew it worked, so I didn't look any further. It made the car legal. But now I want to see why. Because I want dips and main to work separately. So the way that this is wired up is I have one relay which powers a second relay, so it powers the inputs to a second relay, of which on pin number 5 is dip beam, and when I flip the switch it throws the relay over and goes to main beam. So there's an issue with pin 5 on the relay, or in the relay block. Now it could be that the connector had come out, it could be the relays failed, it could be both bulbs are blown. Let's be honest, there is always this issue, or this thought process that both bulbs could have been blown. So we're going to start at the beginning, work our way through and see how it goes. I don't know what the issue is. I mean, I've got spares of certain things, and if I need to redo the wiring, then I need to redo the wiring. But let's start at the beginning. Let's work out that the lights actually work where they should or shouldn't, and take it from there. First things first, let's check that the issue is still here and still present. So, turn the main power switch on, turn dipped beam on, no dipped beam, and high beam. We have high beam, no dip beam. So this is where the relays are. This one that says high-low is the high-low beam. This one at the end is the power for this relay. Now I can say that that one's working because it's supplying power to this one, because the high beam works. But the low beam doesn't. So let's pull this out. I'll get my power probe out, plug it in, now I'm just plugging this onto the vehicle battery. Now this is power probe's hook. 90% of the time I use it like a normal power probe, and it's a bit bigger and a bit bulkier, and if you're not going to use the extra functions on it, just go and buy a power probe. Power probe 4. Right, that is connected to earth, so the actual power probe has its power and ground, and it also has its supply ground. Now this is just a simple adapter, so let's plug this into pin 4. Supply some power and main beam works. That's main beam. So let's do it into pin 5. Just to check that my wiring is correct. And we have dip beam. So that shows that my wiring is correct. Now this tells me, when I find the relay that I just took out, this tells me we could have a relay problem. And it could very well be as simple as this, and I hope it is. So, let's hook this up over here. Onto the relay. Get out the trusty multimeter. Now this one is a Cartier Citroen original equipment, and you can see it is a 5-pin. These 2 pins on the side here and here are the low current switch for, this is being the main power in, and these 2 being the power out. As it is now, this power in and this centre pin here should be connected, and when I power these 2, it should flick the arm and power this one. But this centre pin is the one that we possibly have the problem with. There appears to be no continuity between this bottom pin and this middle pin. That's why the dip beam isn't working. The bottom one and the top one work. So when I throw it over to main beam, power comes in, comes out the top one for main, but doesn't come out that one for dipped. So, move the multimeter where you can see it. I'll stand that up on a torch so you can see the resistance. Needs to be up more. So when I touch the ends together, two ohms of resistance through the leads themselves. So anything additional to 2 ohms is the problem. Now I'm going to touch the middle pin and I'm going to touch the bottom pin, and there's the problem. There's no continuity between the power in pin and the 5th pin. There's the issue. So let me grab a good relay. One good relay. And go again from the bottom pin to pin number 5. It now reads exactly the same as what my leads do. So there's continuity between the bottom pin and the middle pin. So let's go put a good relay in that we know is good and try that. known good relay. Dip beam switch, dip beam, main beam, main, dipped, off. Problem cured. So that was a nice easy fix for the dipped main beam issue. Now that's cured, proves my wiring was good to start with, and it was just a faulty relay. Now I'm going to take the back off of it and see if it was a faulty relay or the fact that there just isn't a 5th pin connected. It's present in the outside, but it's not actually connected inside. So I'm going to do that afterwards. However, the next issue is the wipers. Now, as I'm sat here thinking about it, I've got exactly the same issue with the wipers. I've got nothing on the first switch and I've got fast on the second. Now, the wipers are wired slightly differently. There is an earth lead coming out the wipers. So what I've done is, again, I've used the 5th pin for slow, and I've brought the ground round, and the first switch activates the ground, so it just puts the ground wire from the motor to a ground in the car. So that's all the first switch does, and it livens up or completes the circuit for the 5th pin. Now I've got no continuity. I've got no circuit on the 5th pin again, but when I flick the other switch that throws the arm to go to pin 4, I have. So I'm wondering if it's the same issue. Actually, let's go check that now. I'm just going to not do any testing. I'm just going to throw another relay at it and play Swaptronics, and maybe it's the issue, and maybe we can get 2 issues cured in one video. And if we can, that would be fantastic. So I'm going to go do that now, and you're going to come with me. Grab another good relay. Now, when you're doing things like this, make sure you turn the power off. And this one that says wipe on the end, as if by magic, is another yellow Cartier relay, 5 pin. I'm wondering if these aren't actually connected inside. Spare one. Let's put that known good one in. Let's see if this cures the issue. Ah! The wipers come on with the power switch. Let's go down to the switch panel. Well, I've got one that makes it go faster and slower, and the other one does absolutely nothing. Okay, there's an issue. There's an issue with that. That's slightly more involved than the relay. However, the relay has cured an issue. It's cured an issue that I didn't know I had. Before, you turn the kill switch on and you had nothing. And you'd flick one switch and the wiper would come on and work. But the other speed didn't. So there's an issue there. And I don't know what it is. So in the next video, we're going to go hunting into that and see why, what it is, what this issue is. But we now have power on pin 4 and pin 5, and it switches over. It's just on permanently, and it shouldn't be. So yeah. If you like the video, please click like, and if you like the content, please click subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao.